Hi there, Reardon King, the Practical Spiritualist, here for you once again. And in this video I just wanted to share a bit of what I've learned doing multiple hypnotherapy courses and learning a whole lot about the emotions and how the emotions work. So firstly, emotions are felt. We feel things. So they're clearly not just mental, they're also in the body, they're physical. We can feel fear in our whole body. We can get that gut feeling that something is right or not right. We regularly experience aches and pains in our bodies, and that's an unpleasant emotional experience, and it creates those negative thoughts. So there's this interaction between what we feel in our body and what we think as well. So that's why emotions need to be kind of looked at, and why there's like a body of knowledge and research that's put under the term of emotional intelligence. And so I think meditation and mindfulness practices are excellent. They teach you how to become more aware of your emotions. They teach you how to label and identify the different feelings and states that you experience from day to day in your body and your mind and your whole being. And they teach you how to sort of observe them, identify what they are, and then allow them through this just detachment, this stepping back, to let them go gradually and steadily, so to not get caught up in them, to not get absorbed in them. And I do think that it is very helpful to just simply spend that reflective moment or moments just identifying how it is that you're feeling in your body, just so you know, so you can be aware, and you can basically self-diagnose the sort of where you are and then where you might want to get to or might want to be afterwards. Because if you know what the negative sort of unpleasant emotion is, then you can start to also think and consider and contemplate more of the positive side of that particular experience that you're having. So you might be feeling really drowsy, sort of nullified, sort of not really much energy or much ability to act. And then so you just think about, oh, okay, I'm feeling like that, so what do I need to do? I sort of need to wake myself up, I need to energize myself, I need to invigorate and inspire myself in some way, somehow. And then you might take some form of action that leads to that. It might be learning something new, it might be getting on your feet and doing some sort of physical exercise to just shake off this negative or unpleasant sort of emotional state that you're in. It could be anything along these lines. So the other thing is, if you just consciously identify the emotion, sometimes it's enough to just know that you're feeling that way and to accept it. And in that way, you actually release it. You just, instead of rejecting it and repressing it and trying to hide and ignore it, then you are able to just know that that's what happened. And once you sort of look at it and are aware of it, suddenly you can move on from it. It doesn't kind of hold you anymore, because you've just sort of objectively looked at it, you've stepped back, you've sort of just identified, and that's sometimes just enough. Another thing I like to do, and what I've learned from reading a pretty good book that I'd recommend if you want to learn more about the emotions, is The Emotion Code. And they teach you to sort of identify the different emotions you have in the body. It involves a bit of metaphysical sort of stuff like kinesiology, which is kind of muscle testing stuff, but I don't know if you need to really do that. I think at least just making the conscious effort to work with what you're feeling in the body, at the very least, can be enough. And there's just some very cool stories about people having emotional releases and the sort of results that they've had with those releases. For example, people have had injuries that they've still got emotional memory from. And in fact, memory itself, and this is part of the hypnotherapy body of knowledge and research, memory itself can be held within the body, not just the mind. It seems to store itself in our whole being, in our whole body as well. So it's quite useful to know these very basic things, where say you have an injury in a sport, that actual memory can get stuck in that injury. And then you're treading lightly, you're treading carefully on that injury from that point forward, because you can remember what the pain was like and you don't want to recreate that pain. And so I've heard of people re-experiencing those memories, labeling and tagging the emotions that are sort of stuck in the different body parts, And this is where you might want to look at the emotion code. And then they've done the little release, whether they just ask a higher power or they just use their own power to release it. You can sort of brush it over your head 3 times, whatever. You can do anything that you like in order to feel freedom from the emotion. And then the pain, the injury itself has been able to heal very quickly sometimes, from what I understand. So that's just a little bit about sort of what the emotion code brings and what emotions really mean for us. But hypnosis is just a little bit more in depth than the techniques in the emotion code. And so in hypnosis and hypnotherapy, all it really is, it's not like what you see in Hollywood movies. That is one form of stage hypnosis, but therapeutic hypnosis is more about allowing the patient, the practitioner, the client to do the healing that they need to do and want to do for themselves. So it's about their desires, their goals. It's not about the practitioner. So the practitioner is just really taking the client into like a deep state of relaxation, a very calm, peaceful state. So basically a state of deep meditation. But it's easier when someone's telling you to relax more and more deeply, and you're constantly being reminded to do that, and that will take you into that state of just deep, empty, meditative awareness. And from there you can tap into the sort of deeper layers, deeper recesses of the mind, and you can access your memories in a more visceral, more in your face sort of way when your eyes are closed and you're relaxed. And so if there's something that you want to shift or change, you can find out what it is that's getting in the way of it, what past memories, what past experiences are still living in your unconscious mind and in your body. And then you can find out what lesson you need to learn from that, how you need to flip the polarity of that from the negative over to the positive. So basically it's kind of an equalization process where often our traumas, our pains, the things we struggle with, we're just too focused on the negative side of the event, where all events have both a positive and a negative potential lesson, no matter how dark, bad, how horrific they really are. There's still something that there's something there that you can pull out that taught you how to be more effective or how to navigate this world more easily. So ultimately we want to be in that centered place where we're not particularly disturbed by anything, where we're not seeking positive things, we're not avoiding negative things. And when there is this sort of darkness, this cloud of pain that's over us, then often it can be very difficult to get out of your own attachment, your own deeply painful experiential memory or state that's still coming up for you based on things that have already happened. So that's where hypnotherapy and hypnosis is extremely powerful. And it's really, you can explore more about who you are, what you really want to do. You can get more clarity. You can use hypnosis and hypnotherapy for positive things as well, for embedding deep goals that you have into the deepest layers of the body, into the unconscious mind. So it's not just a willpower effort on a conscious level as much as you can muster the effort. It's also fully felt and embodied as the way you would like to be and the way you'd like to go on the deepest layers, in the deepest layers, on the deepest levels of your body and being. So that's just a little bit about hypnosis and hypnotherapy. Very powerful stuff, and it really does engage more than just the conscious, the rational, the thinking mind. It really embodies the changes that you wish to make, whether it's to remove negative things or to cultivate positive things that you'd like to see happen in your life. And yeah, the more you feel that which you wish to bring into your life, the more easily you're going to actually do what it is that you need to do to make that happen, or do the things that will allow it to come to you and allow it to happen for you in your life, however you wish to think about it. And so that's what I understand hypnotherapy to be. And it really is like taking control of this tool we have, the mind and the emotions and the body, bring it all into one aligned state. And that is the powerful tool that hypnotherapy really is. Other than that, you just want to be in that state of equilibrium, that state of balance, that state of mindful awareness. Unless you're doing something in life, unless you need to work or unless you're just extremely bothered by something that you really need to actually do that deeper work on, then you just want to be here and now in the present and enjoying and experiencing life. And that's where the beauty and the power of meditation and mindfulness comes into it, and why we should also be practicing that. So they're very much related. And that's all I wanted to say for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I will check in with you guys again soon. See you later.